It's Wednesday, August 18th. Here back in the studio in St. Louis, Missouri, we watched Titans Season 3 premiere on HBO Max and Episode 2 of What If. I'm Logan, that's PC Mike, that's the Giggler, this is Mostly Superheroes. Hello and welcome to Mostly Superheroes, a weekly pursuit for the world's best stories with an emphasis on live-action superhero stuff. I actually got through it this time here in the studio. No interruptions from the Giggler. Give it up.
New nickname, the Interrupter.
The Interrupter. He cut you off when you don't want him to. How you doing, Andy?
I am, I've been better, but hanging in there.
Yeah, you've had a day.
Yes. Supposed to be going to Mexico tomorrow. COVID has other plans. Not me, but
right. No, just in general, COVID has affected your trip.
Yes,
I think people are familiar with that concept.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, people are getting better. That's all that matters.
And you have a lesson that you should always buy travel insurance.
Yes, exactly.
It worked.
Southwest Airlines makes it easy. You can cancel at any time. Always a big Southwest guy. I don't know about you guys.
It's the easiest. It's the cheapest, especially for us.
That's PC Mike. If you don't know, PC Mike, you use Southwest. You're a Southwest guy.
Yeah, usually.
Are you a Southwest? Are you one of these Southwest credit card people?
No, I have a.
You are, Andy?
Yes.
So you're doing the companion pass?
Not yet. I'm almost there. I think once I have a good year of like work travel actually happening, and I accompany it with personal travel, I can get up there.
But you use it, Mike.
Yeah, but I'm a Chase guy, but I can transfer my Chase points to Southwest.
Ooh, fancy. You need to follow the points. You guys follow the points guy?
No.
That's like a famous, I think he's like an online dude, social media, the points guy. That's like his whole thing. Is like where to get the most points, how to convert certain points to other points.
Does he like bounce around cards or stick with the same one?
I don't really know. I don't even really follow him. I just know him just from him being famous.
Because I've had this Chase one for a long time, and I use the points for travel. I don't really use them for anything else, but I'll just convert them. Or if there's a good deal on Delta or something, I'll use that. But do I need to keep changing cards to get the deals? But I don't want to open different cards.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you know what? I wonder I bet travel insurance companies have been really going through some struggles with the pandemic. Like how many people trying to be like, I just can't. They're like, well, we're not going to quite cover that. You probably got pretty lucky.
I guess. I don't know. This is the first time I ever had to do this, so it's all good though. Well, just delayed. We're already planning something for November.
Either way, though, I'm glad that you're here. You made it back here in the studio, and a good time for you to forget about the bad things that happened to you today and talk about some nerdy fun stuff. How about that?
Okay.
All right, let's open up with the fans.
Fan mail.
Fan mails, where we feature fans first every week on this show. We love you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. We're all over the internet, and you guys just keep showing up. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you listen to podcasts. And, of course, you can call that studio phone at 754-CALL-LOG. That's 754-225-5564. This week, we got a couple people to feature from the Facebook group, the Mostly Superheroes Squad. This one actually comes at us from my lady, Miss Carrie. She posted an article from IGN. We had talked about the Suicide Squad in our last episode. Man, how much fun was that?
Oh, it was a blast.
Oh, my gosh. What a movie.
I looked it up the other day.
Yeah.
It's 65 percentage points higher than the last one. It's a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes, and the other one was a 26.
Oh, then the original Suicide. Hey, who directed the original? Do you guys know? I know that everybody wants the Suicide Squad to be released, but the Ayer cut is the thing, and David Ayer spoke out and said, like, listen, I'm not going to be doing this Zack Snyder stuff. I don't want to release a cut. But I was like, who actually directed the first one? Right when PC Mike told me, I didn't bring my PC today, in the very first segment, I'm like, hey, can you look this up?
It says David Ayer on.
Because people are like, release the Ayer cut. That's like the big hashtag.
Do they like trim it down or something so much for him, or
maybe it was just like one of those HBO and DC got in there and chopped it up. Walter Hamada and those folks.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's IMDb even says David Ayer.
Either way, really not surprised to hear that the new The Suicide Squad by James Gunn is doing that much better in terms of ratings. And in the Mostly Superhero Squad, Carrie posted this article from IGN, a photo actually, featuring David Dastmalchian. I think that's right. Dastmalchian. We struggled with that name last time. He's the polka dot man, and he actually has this picture of his cat that apparently a group sent him a polka dot man costume for cats.
Wow.
I love that.
So it's like on a cat. It's the polka. Like there's so much detail in it. My first question, especially as a cat owner, as Andy has known and found out via sneezes when he's here, I want this thing.
It's cute. I'll give it that.
I don't think it's like available for purchase, though.
We have a cat as well, and I don't see how that cat keeps that head thing on.
Yeah, exactly.
When he that's why he's holding it, because as soon as he puts it down, it's probably like pushing it off. Yeah. But super cute. Carrie, thanks for getting involved in the squad, and we have one more from the squad. This guy, we all know him, our boy Scotty.
Recent. That's how recent we are here.
Yes,
this was 3 hours. I saw this online today.
3 hours ago from today.
Oh,
it's
those
Wednesday.
Are beautiful.
Beautiful posters from Entertainment Weekly. Scott shared this. Meet the Eternals, the movie, the MCU flick coming out here in November. Looks like Entertainment Weekly did some featurettes, covers of pretty much all the Eternals. And like I'm looking at this photo, I'm like, did they release all these? And like they're all in the same circulation, or is it each week? I have no idea. But you can see all of them online, EW.com, and Scotty shared this. You can actually go see that in the Mostly Superhero Squad on Facebook, private, free, exclusive. You get in there, you'll get to share your ideas, your articles, comment on stuff, get involved with what you're watching, and share some nice posters. Have you guys been still getting pretty jazzed about the Eternals?
Big time.
I'm
scared.
What do you mean?
A delay.
Yeah, I am too.
Obviously.
And we're going to talk about some delays in the news. We'll talk about it. What would you say, Andy, you're more excited for, the Eternals or Shang-Chi?
Eternals.
What about the Eternals or Spider-Man No Way Home?
Def Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's
sorry, Shang-Chi, but it's just
that's okay.
It's going to be a great movie. I love the reviews that we've seen already from it.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about some of it. I saw there's like a bunch. The premiere was this week.
Yeah.
And Mike, I feel like you're just probably the Eternals is one of those where it's like you just got to show us what you got because we don't know anything.
I have no clue. Yeah,
I think it starts everything. I think it's going to be one of those like. We've talked about it. Oh, did you remember back to Iron Man 2 when they said this? Well, in the Eternals or something say why they said that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of Easter eggs, I think, tied back.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man is very interesting to me. It's very wild. They haven't released a trailer yet.
Mm-hmm.
And
still.
That keeps me guessing. But I think Spider-Man's the king. I think Spider-Man's going to, like,
blow our minds.
Carry Phase 4 in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of how Cap and Iron Man carried those first couple phases. I think Spider-Man's going to do the same.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot of these new titles because we've seen some new TV shows this year, Loki, The Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and now we have What If, which we'll talk about episode 2 today. That is what I think has been missing so far is that these characters we all know. Well, we know all these characters, but none of them are the lead. Well, they will be now. You got Sam Wilson as Captain America. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But like we haven't had the the big three, like Iron Man, Thor, a little bit of Captain America, but he's the Falcon in the TV show. I think we're still waiting on like who are going to be our top-notch Avengers, and I think once we start getting a picture of that, that's going to be maybe some of that excitement that we've been looking for in these shows.
Doctor Strange.
Oh my gosh, multiverse.
That's not that far away either. Like, what is that? That's March.
I don't. I actually have it. I'll have it here in just.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
I don't want to say it wrong.
All right, let's always feature fans on this first on this show. We always will, and you can get involved just like that. Join the Facebook group. Reach out at mostlysuperheroes.com or give us a call. With that, let's talk about some news.
News and rumors.
Couple things in the news world, a couple quick things, and then we're going to focus actually on Shang-Chi for the majority of the news today. But first up, real quick, just talked about this one. This came from Brandon Davis on Twitter. He works over at comicbook.com, does a great job. Brandon Davis BD, you can go follow him. Captain America 4 confirmed is moving forward. Anthony Mackie just closed the deal to star. It will likely begin filming next summer. Really exciting to hear this. Super quick and easy. I see you, Andy, starting to smile. Pretty exciting, huh?
Yes.
Captain America.
He secured
4.
the bag. He
He's
secured the bag. That a boy.
And
Anthony.
you know Bucky's going to be in there. We don't know anything else about this movie, but we know that's going to be starting and that's officially happening. You can get the link to that tweet in today's episode description, and you can go check out that article at comicbook.com. Really excited to hear about that movie coming up. Next up, also from Twitter, we have been teasing this out the last couple weeks, kind of keeping in track of any delays that were coming up. And I'll say, unfortunately, just because it sucks anytime a movie gets delayed, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This comes straight from their Twitter. You can follow them at Venom Movie. Venom vs. Carnage. The face-off begins exclusively in movie theaters October 15th. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. So this is actually pushed back from September 24th, I believe, and now we're in October. Have you guys heard this yet?
There was 2 dates I think they were playing with, like this date and even back like in January.
So right now it's October.
So this is decent news. I mean, it's not awful. It's 3 weeks.
It's 3 weeks, but you also have to wonder, will there be more? I mean, geez, I can't believe that we're here a year later after the first part of the pandemic, and here we are in a second round of delays again. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. But Venom, of all the movies that get pushed back, I'm not losing sleep over this one.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Still excited for it.
Still excited.
I mean, this for the YouTube viewers, this poster that we're looking at,
it's pretty sweet.
I don't think I've seen this one, but that looks amazing. Except for the fact it looks like they're kind of about to tongue kiss, but
yeah, it looks like they're like tonguing each other. Like if you didn't know what Venom was and you saw this poster, you'd be like, "What is that?
Are they in love?"
Yeah, this is a weird love story about aliens.
I'm about to eat your face.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage, pushed back October 15th. We'll keep you posted if there's any more delays on that one. And next up, this actually came from our boy Scotty as well in the Facebook group, shared some new posters for the new movie MCU film, Shang-Chi. Got a couple in here. If you're watching us on YouTube, watching us on Facebook, you can see these. These look pretty sick. Had a couple new posters come officially from Marvel Studios. Thanks, Scott, for sharing those. You see Scott wearing some merch there. If you ever want to buy something mostly superheroes on it, you can. It's at mostlysuperheroes.com/merch. And then in the news world, coming from comicbook.com, we'll have this description in our episode as well. Marvel's Shang-Chi. This comes out of Comic Book. Jamie Lovett over there announces early IMAX screening. So there was a big screening this week. Brandon Davis from Comic Book got to go see this thing early. And there was a big premiere event just this past Monday. And they've announced that there's going to be some lucky fans in about 25 markets that'll get to go see this thing early. Now, I even contemplated bringing this up after my failure of not seeing the Suicide Squad. But, I wanted to make sure that we let our fans know about this. And hell, maybe I'll try again. Maybe I'll try to go see this thing. I don't even know if St. Louis is one of the markets.
Or if somebody gets there, let us know in the group or let us know and kind of give us a review and
get us some tickets.
Call.
Yeah, and get us some tickets.
We'll get there early.
Get there early.
And hold a seat for you.
Don't spend too much time at the movie theater bar. Make sure you go straight to the line and get in. And then there's actually some drama around this. It was quickly kind of fizzled out with Kevin Feige. He jumped in and helped. But apparently Bob Chapek, this came out of an article from USA Today, that apparently there was a tweet he put out about Shang-Chi being an experiment. Here's what he said. On Shang-Chi, we think it's actually going to be an interesting experiment for us because it's only got a 45-day window for us. Chapek said, so the prospect of being able to take a Marvel title to the service after going to theatrical for 45 days will be yet another data point to inform our actions going forward for our titles. It's not even that bad of a tweet. It's not a bad thought, but I will say, in terms of like people that are looking at his Twitter, it's not the most exciting tweet. It's just more of like a cold data. He's a CEO of a company, though. He's kind of thinking about like, this is an experiment. I don't know if you had heard this. Shang-Chi, it's, guess what? It's only going to theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, why? Come on. The Black Widow deal. I mean, that had to be why, right? Black Widow, the lawsuit with Scarlett Johansson over releasing on Disney Plus, the same as the theater. I have to think that's what happened. Even though I don't think that tweet was that bad. Kevin Feige jumped in and said he didn't either. I'm going to make sure I get his name right, Andy, because you said people have been saying it wrong. But the star of Shang-Chi, oh boy, here we go. Liu is his last name, Liu. Simu Liu previously tweeted out in response to Bob Chapek's comments. He said, "We are not an experiment. We are the underdog, the underestimated. We are the ceiling breakers. We are the celebration of culture and joy that will persevere after an embattled year. We are the surprise. I'm fired the fuck up to make history on September 3rd. Join us.
Inject that into my effing veins.
I mean, if that doesn't get you pumped up for this movie, this guy is fired up.
But I feel like he's mad about, like, not mad, but he's defending his movie, and I get he's passionate about it. But what the other guy's saying is, like, we're going to try this now. We tried Premiere Access with Black Widow. Clearly, it blew up in our faces. Now we're going to give you a theatrical run of 45 days, and then it's going to the streaming service. He's not talking like the movie itself is an experiment. It just happens to be this movie, I feel.
Well, and especially when you take the phrase, it's an experiment, out of context,
yeah,
that can feel offensive.
And I could kind of see if my personal box office, so Scarlett Johansson style, if my personal box office was tied to this, like I got a percentage of the box office.
Yep.
And I knew that it was going to Disney Plus in 45 days, maybe for free. If I have a family of 5,
yeah,
I'm gonna save the $70 and not go to the movies and just wait.
Just wait it out.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going to see. I mean, we've talked about this when we did our review of Suicide Squad, looking at the comparison, especially when you promote a movie really well. Yeah, the box office, I think, what we say, it was around 30 to 40 million in the U.S., but we found out that they had around 80 million. We did the ballpark, 2.3 million viewers on HBO Max. Like, people are showing up on their TVs to see this, and I feel like this is another experiment. So you're totally right, Mike. And also, again, Kevin Feige spoke out about this. He kind of defused the situation. Talking about Simu Liu, he said he is not a shy man. I think him, in that in particular tweet, you can see, and I think everyone does, a misunderstanding. It was not the intention.
I agree.
And I totally agree.
Yep.
Really appreciate the help from USA Today and comicbook.com with the help with the news today. Either way, Shang-Chi's out there. Early screenings are happening. Check your markets. And either way, we're going to be seeing this thing September 3rd. Can't wait.
Or earlier.
Who knows? All right, let's talk about what we're watching.
What you watching?
What you watching? This is where we tell you what we're watching each and every week or reading, whatever you're looking at with your eyeballs. We want to hear about it. Tell us about it in the Facebook group. Write us into the show. Call our studio phone. You get featured right here during this segment. This week it's just us, the fellas. First up on Netflix. I think this was yours, PC Mike, right? Tell us about Malice at the Palace.
So Malice at the Palace is an incident that happened back in, I believe, 2004 against the Detroit Pistons and Indiana Pacers. It turned into a fight that was on the court, but then fans started to throw things, and the players went into the stands and fought fans that were there, and basically a riot erupted. Fallout from this, Ron Artest, who's in the picture there, got suspended for the entire rest of the basketball season. A couple other players got suspended for like 30 games and 25 games. And Indiana was the favorite to win the NBA championship that year, and they didn't do it because of all the games they missed and suspensions and things like that. But it was a real black eye for everybody. But this documentary kind of shows the other side. Shows that the Indiana Pacers weren't really, they were at fault for, yes, going in the stands, but how they were provoked and all the things that were thrown at them and how they were treated. Reggie Miller, who's the greatest Pacer of all time, was almost maced on the court by the police officers when they got there because they didn't know who Reggie Miller was. And there was no police presence. It was a blowout game, so all the fans from the upper deck came low. People were throwing stuff. I mean, it was just a bad deal, but you really kind of feel for the Pacers. I hate to say that towards the end because their story wasn't told, and some people never really recovered, and other people went to win championships, but those that were stuck in Indiana, they didn't win anything. The Pistons ended up going back to the NBA Finals. They lost. They won the year before. But really just a great look at this. I've watched everything I thought I could about this. If you're into sports, NBA, must watch. It's an hour. Player interviews, Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, all the big people are there. Reggie Miller does interviews for this.
They brought him back.
Yeah. And it's awesome. I mean, it's from 2004. If you have no idea what this is, take an hour and watch it. But
do you have to be a sports fan to enjoy it?
I don't think so.
Like, it's because there's drama, so.
Yeah, there's drama, and you just see how it's kind of like how the media can turn on something. and not necessarily, I know we're in the era of fake news, but just the reporting right after the game was these players went into the stands, they caused this to happen, when in reality, people were throwing things. There wasn't security.
A lot of provoked.
Yeah.
They're provoked.
Yeah.
Andy, have you seen this?
I haven't. I think I'm going to watch it because I remember this happening and being very disturbed by this whole scene of events.
I mean, there's one scene of guys on the court from the stands.
Yeah.
And he goes face to face with Ron Artest, and Ron Artest just squares you out, just go pop, pop.
What year did this happen?
2004 or 5.
So we're in high school.
Yeah.
Because I do vaguely remember this, but great review, Mike. I mean, like you said, sports fans definitely must. And then if you're just interested in media drama, it's an hour watch on Netflix. Malice at the Palace. I will be honest, me not being a big NBA fan, it's one of those things that because of that review, I'm more likely to throw it on a Sunday or something. Yeah. But it might take a while to get across my screen. I think that maybe a lot of non-big NBA sports fans probably feel similar, but I'm definitely more interested than just looking at the poster.
Well, even me, like I was sitting there on a Sunday morning or something, and it's like, man, do I want to watch it? I know about it. Like, yeah. I thought I knew everything. Like, I know what happened. Like, I know they got suspended. I know yada, yada, yada. But then I watch this, and you really get to see the other side, and it's crazy of all the stories and Steven Jackson telling stories and all that. I mean, if you're not a sports fan, you won't know those names, but I would give it it's worth an hour watch on Netflix. It's one of the better documentaries solo on Netflix that I've seen.
Well, you know what I like about our rating system is like, yeah, we do factor in rewatchability, but I feel like we take that out when we talk about documentaries.
I think you have to.
Go ahead and give a rating then, because I think it's a good representation of how you feel.
I'd say 3.3.
3.3. Hell yeah. So you enjoyed it. Malice at the Palace. Just a cool title.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice little rhyme. Check it out.
The Pistons play at the Palace.
The Palace. Well, I assumed.
It wasn't like in a palace. If you're not a sports fan.
Now, if it was in a real palace, I'd be watching this right now. All right, check it out. It's on Netflix. This next one, I think you both seen. Andy, I'll let you kick us off because it was yours to begin with, and then Mike watched it, I think, like an hour ago. It's on Starz. It's starring Stephen Amell, who you might recognize as Oliver Queen from the Green Arrow on CW.
Also from SummerSlam maybe 5 years ago where he wrestled.
Which is more relevant to this. We're talking about Heels on Starz. Andy, give us a spoiler-free review of this thing.
For sure. So this takes place in a small town in Georgia,
yes.
Right? Yeah, fill in the blanks if I miss anything.
Yeah, you guys double team it.
Two brothers, Jack and
Ace. Tag team
yes. All right, I'll tag you in shortly. So yeah, two brothers in small town in Georgia. They're like a independent wrestling company that started by their dad. They are let's see, Ace is the one on the right? Ace is the face.
I think
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sounds like names don't
in wrestling.
Really...
Face means like a good guy.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
shit. I definitely don't speak the lingo.
Ace and Jack Spade. That's these two guys. They're brothers in real life. So, Jack Spade is Stephen Amell's character. He is the heel. And the current champion.
The villain.
Yeah.
If you're a heel, you're a bad guy.
You're the bad guy in the match.
Yes.
Big thing is sometimes they switch sides. Big things happen and they lead up.
Yeah.
Switch from one to the other, make a big turn, things like that. So, but yeah, spoiler free. Basically,
it's a movie.
No, it's a show.
TV show.
It's a show.
Oh,
yeah, this is the first episode premiere.
Look at me, I know nothing.
It's okay, we got you.
Thank you.
I kind of want you to watch some of it to see what a non-wrestling fan would think of the show. To be honest.
Okay.
So, because I don't know if I'm just sucked in because I love wrestling, but
so wrestling fans are gonna watch Heels. It's on Starz too.
But did you know if you have Amazon Prime, Starz is with Amazon Prime?
Is that true?
Yes, I watched it today.
Well, here's the thing. I'll test it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many episodes you seen?
There's only one so far. It premiered on Sunday, so you see a little bit of drama in and out of the ring. There's a big event that happens at the end that I can't say much about, but basically one of the characters is basically getting picked off to work by a recruiter to work for a bigger company.
Okay.
And the rest of the people are kind of reacting to it.
Yeah, there's bad blood.
Mike?
Did you after the episode ended, you were thinking, I can't wait for episode 2, or how'd you feel?
Yeah, definitely. I can't. I'm pumped. I mean, I love when shows premiere and air on Sundays. I don't know why. I just love that. Just
especially
gives
wrestling.
me Game of Thrones vibes. SummerSlam is this weekend also.
Saturday.
Reminder. Thank you. And Sunday too? Is it 2 days? Only
Just
Saturday. Sheesh.
How do you watch SummerSlam?
Peacock.
Of course.
We'll be doing it.
All right, PC Mike, what did you think of Heels? Since you just saw it today based off after Andy's text.
I mean, Heels. I had low expectations going in because I was like, oh, it's a wrestling thing. They're not going to do it well.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Like the characters, the story they're telling is very cool. They talk about kayfabe a lot, which kayfabe is staying true to your character no matter what. So like one of the most popular wrestlers of all time, The Undertaker, would not break kayfabe. He would be The Undertaker from when he was up to when he went to bed in public.
Okay.
The older brother, Stephen Amell, in this series, and he's trying to kind of teach his younger brother the ways of kayfabe to grow the business. You're not just growing yourself, you're growing the business.
Yep.
And his younger brother is kind of a hot shot and doesn't think that he should listen to that. He's the face, so the face of the company. He has all the power behind him. But his brother is what they call a booker. So he books the matches and writes the matches, and they're not seen eye to eye. And, I mean, the tagline says it best, brother versus brother, hero versus heel. And that's how it's going to be, I think, throughout the season.
And do we know how many episodes this will be?
On Wikipedia, there's only 5 listed right now, but I don't think it can be that short.
I mean, it could be like one of those limited series like HBO does. I mean, if it says 5 on Wikipedia, usually they at least have a pretty good, Wikipedia, like, who am I saying? Like, all right, obviously you guys are talking to me because I'm not like a wrestling fan, so you're like, go give this a shot. Is this for wrestling fans only, do you think? Or is this really for like trying to get new fans into wrestling? Does it even really matter if you're a fan of wrestling?
I feel like non-wrestling fans would be kind of confused by it.
I think you'd be a little confused.
I mean, the title's Heels, and I didn't even know that that's what that meant.
Yeah. You think it's like a women's like clothing show or something like that.
I think it helps if you're a wrestling fan, but you don't
high
have
heels.
Yeah, I thought this was like Devil Wears Prada.
Two.
Yeah.
I think
Starring
I think
Stephen
it
Amell.
helps if you're a wrestling fan, but I don't think you have to be.
Okay.
Because they do a decent job of explaining what kayfabe is. Like they go to church, and one of the daughters is like kayfabe. I'm like, well, what's kayfabe? Like to give people
Okay, and then
kind of an insight.
they do a little bit of exposition to help you out. Okay, so Heels just premiered. It's on Stars. You guys are obviously going to watch it through.
Yes, and I know we talk about this all the time. We get confused with streaming services and all of that. I believe if you have Amazon Prime, you have Stars connected to it somehow. Because I watched through my Amazon Prime, I had a Stars tab. I clicked it, I watched it. Now, am I going to get charged? I don't know.
Yeah, is this like
But
when you accidentally hit the order button and you're paying extra? Okay, Heels on Stars, maybe Stars via Amazon Prime. I'm happy to test that out too, just because I'm curious now. But you can definitely see it on Stars. This is maybe like I just had that Stars trial too, and it's over. But we can get back in there. If I have Amazon, maybe that'll be it. You guys will watch it. Keep us posted on how it's going, and then we'll find out how many episodes it actually has. But right now, it looks like they've got 5 slated, and we'll keep you posted on how it goes. It'll be circling back around. Andy, we've already talked about this show. It's got a 2nd season on Netflix. It's called Outer Banks. We already talked about kind of what it's about and the premise. You just finished season 2, correct?
Yes.
I just want you to be plain and simple right now. Does anyone need to watch this show?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you finished it yet, Mike?
can't.
Where are you?
Can't even finish it.
I'm on episode 3.
Man.
I mean, let's do this. We've never done this. You convince us to watch this, and I will try to sway the other way.
And don't tell us the story. Just tell us, like, what
Okay.
about it? Like, why people need to watch this show?
I was on the edge of my seat for the majority of the show. If you can look past like the CW-ish type, like I don't even know what to call that, like the vibe that it gives off sometimes of just like
teen,
stupid teeny bopper shit,
yeah,
where it's
teeny
like,
bopper, yeah.
and then also people are like, people die and then somehow are coming back to life. Is that what you got
episode
pissed
3,
about?
I was like,
I knew it.
I can't do this.
I knew it.
So it gets weird.
There's a character that
No, it just
that
You better give
like,
a spoiler alert if it's like spoilery.
I mean, this happens. People almost die multiple
all right,
times, so it's not really a
semi-
spoiler.
Yeah, because it's like a war between people-ish.
semi-spoiler. I'm not going to say characters' names.
Okay.
A character gets shot.
Okay.
They rush this said character. I almost said like he or she. They rush this said character to a doctor.
Okay.
She's on crap. The character is on
Spoiler alert. Fine.
the character's on the gurney.
Okay.
dead.
Okay.
Minutes.
Long.
I mean, they do CPR.
The guy's crying. I mean, the person's crying.
The doctor,
the person that's alive in there.
The doctor leaves the room,
oh God.
and he's like, I don't know what to do. They have like a conversation for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And then just all of us, and he did CPR for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you just hear, beep.
Like the heartbeat.
I told you, if you can look past the little things like that, like
Little things.
the plot is still good. I was
like
like
the
on
overall story is still good.
Yeah, I mean that did tick me off, and there's going to be another scene, one in the last few episodes that I bet you'll whenever if you do get there, I think you're going to end up texting me about it because you're going to know that it's exactly what I'm talking about right now.
Are you going to pick this back up?
I think it'll be one like if me and the lady are at home and there's nothing really on TV.
Okay.
She'll be like, well, do you want to watch Outer Banks? And we'll be like, yeah, we can watch an episode. And then something crazy will happen. I'll be like, it's one of those, me and her sit there and we'll look at each other and be like, are you serious?
You're going to get sucked in, though. I
All
know
right.
it.
Let's,
Logan, I bet if you gave it a chance, you would too, even if you started on season 1.
But it's
I
hard.
have no
I'm
doubts.
getting as time goes on, I'm getting pickier. And I'm saying, like, I'm more quickly getting to, like, where I'm like, if this isn't good, I just stop.
you got to spend a day of your life watching this because there's 2 seasons of.
Let's
10
end it.
episodes
Let's
for
end
now.
it with this one for now. First of all, fans, tell us about this show if you're watching it, because obviously there's like some difference in how people feel about it. Andy, I just want you to rate it. Season
Rate
2.
it?
Well, I guess you could rate the series overall so far.
Yeah, I can do that. 3.2.
Wow.
I feel like you inflated it.
I may have. I may have.
Just to get us to watch it.
4.0. Outer Banks,
Yeah.
best show ever.
My
I should've-
favorite show. It finally just went over. I think you should leave.
Oh God, no, never.
How's season 2 go? Is it over?
Yeah. They
Oh, that was like
It's
a
all
one
at
and done.
once. Yeah, it's all at once. I would estimate I've watched season 2 of I Think You Should
Oh,
Leave
yeah.
10 times now. But
Yeah, over and over.
Have we
Uh,
talked about this? What it does on my Netflix? Have we
Yeah.
talked about that?
it like brings you to season 1.
Yeah.
It's the wrong.
I don't know how to fix it.
It's one of those shows on Netflix that is listed in just the wrong order. There's like many.
No,
there's a
it's not
couple-
even. It does not listed that way. You'll just be like watching season 2 and it finish an episode and it'll I'll skip right to an episode in season 1. I don't know if they're trying to get people to watch.
Maybe like,
That's interesting.
because I see why it does it, because it's done that to me, and it's the old man knocking on the window on episode 1, season 1.
Garfield.
And I stop the episode and I go back to season 2. But then I think maybe Netflix in its mind's like, oh, where he left
Yeah.
off is season 1. You know what I mean?
I know
I
what
should
you
know
mean.
better.
Okay. All right. I think you should leave. We know you love it, Andy.
Yeah.
Outer Banks, you also love it. Give it a 3.2. Listener, let us know if you're watching it, and maybe we'll talk about it again. Maybe PC Mike will pick it up. Maybe I'll just get curious enough to where I hit play one day,
I'm gonna move it to like a 3.0. You're
A
right.
3.0?
I inflated.
just because we were putting pressure on you.
Yeah.
All right. We have one more. It's from me.
3.0 is probably fair.
I have been watching this with Carrie. Carrie's started this show. I was verdict was out for me because I hate reality television. Like, I really do try to give it, even though every time you watch something reality TV, you usually get it'll suck you in. This is actually a good one. This is one that's different. It's on HBO Max, and it's called F-Boy Island. F-B-O-Y Island. New reality series. It started streaming this summer, and I think that we have like a couple left. We haven't even finished it yet. Nikki Glazier, the comedian, is the host of the show.
Oh, I love her.
And yeah, she's hilarious. The premise, and she's is she St. Louis?
I think she is.
She is
Yeah,
St. Louis.
yeah,
Kirkwood.
She is.
Yeah, she was in St. Louis during the pandemic on lockdown. I remember seeing her tweet
She
on
moved back?
Instagram. She moved back. She was here. She's
Her-
a local.
Her and Andrew Collin. Do you follow him on Instagram?
I don't follow him.
He's our opener, and he's pretty funny on Instagram.
So yeah, Nikki Glazier, fellow St. Louis celebrity, and F-Boy Island. There's the premise: 3 girls. They're on an island, obviously. 3 girls. They're the control group. They're the ones that are being sought after by a group of guys. I think it's like maybe 10 to 20 guys. And how this works is when the guys come onto the show, the premise is pretty simple: try to get the girls, and there's also like a cash prize. Like, it's Bachelor style. If you're left, you get the girl, or maybe, and I think there might be some money on the table. And here's the catch: when they recruited these guys, they had to send in audition tapes, and they either classified themselves as an F-boy, meaning a person that lies and cheats and is just trying to rack up the notches on their belt, or you come in as a nice guy. And you if you're a nice guy, you tell them why. You tell them like, I've been looking for love. Like, you're very honest. I don't know if they like check references or anything, but there's a lot of things they bring into the show to prove either side of it. Like, so it's not just on your word. They'll look at your social media, but no one knows who is who. And each week there's an elimination of like, okay, bring the girls in, the 3 girls. Say there's 15 guys left. And there's an elimination round where, like, someone goes home every week. Or some week there's 2 guys that'll go home. And there's always the reveal of what you are. And you have to say it out loud in front of everybody. And it started off where I was like, I don't know. And now after 3 episodes, this is a real crazy show, a human experiment of like a real look at the people that are out there.
Is it cringeworthy at points?
It's cringeworthy. It'll make also like I would
like
put
anxiety, like your anxiety watching.
I put myself like in the good guy category, and then like I don't know. There's just like some of these F boys are just like anything it takes. They'll say anything it takes to get laid, and it's just like about Nikki Glazier, calling them out, and then these girls trying to just find love. These girls trying to find love, of course. F Boy Island, HBO Max. I'm looking at your faces. Neither of you have seen this.
No.
No,
I've seen it advertised.
I know Nikki Glazier, and I feel like she's the perfect person for this type of show.
Yeah, she's done comedy about
she is so raunchy,
and she's like talked about a lot about the guys that are out there right now. This is like a look at what's going on out there. Obviously, all these people, like you're on a show called F Boy Island, you're on HBO. You have like probably dreams of being a reality star already.
Oh yeah,
you can't ignore that. Like if you're on a show like this to begin with, you're not like a regular person, like an everyday person. All right, well, I'm gonna definitely tell you guys, check it out. If anything, tell your ladies about it. Carrie was the one that was watching it, and I got sucked in.
We were interested.
You're actually in on it?
I love it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to be like this, but reality TV,
I hate it.
Season, no, it's picking up in our household.
Oh, what are you guys watching?
Below Deck,
of course,
always.
My Big Fabulous Life, is that one?
That sounds like a title of a reality TV show.
That's
for
on
sure.
Tuesdays. We watch that. Dr. Pimple Popper,
of course,
is always on.
Love that one.
This possibly.
This one, I mean, this is on
Challenge.
The Challenge
on MTV.
So
Solid.
F Boy Island. I mean, it's on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Like this isn't even like Comedy Central or something weird. Like this is HBO.
They can say. They don't have to say F Boy. They can say
it. But we won't.
But
we'll keep our PG-13 rating.
We are not F-boys, so we will keep it nice and wholesome in here.
No, we got our ladies. They know. This image comes out of some Screen Rant, HBO Max, F-Boy Island. Feel free to check it out.
We listen to our ladies' podcast because they have a secret podcast, and they're like, man, our guys aren't nice guys. They're F-boys.
That'd be awesome if they had a secret podcast that we just, when we're recording here, they're recording somewhere else.
Whoa.
Crap. Logan moved back the time, girls. We got to meet a little later.
Got this brand new show called F-Boy Island. Check it out, and that's what you watching. To wrap up what you watching today, we did this last week. We're kind of sneaking these in this summer. We have a MCU series to talk about. Let's talk about it right now. This is Marvel MCU title released order number 28. We're on episode 2 of this show called What If. We learned about this one last week. We saw what if Peggy Carter was the first Avenger. It was lukewarm. We didn't feel that great about it. This week, a very special episode, What If T'Challa became Star-Lord? We're talking about T'Challa, the Black Panther. You know him from the MCU. And yes, indeed, this isn't Chadwick Boseman.
His voice just sounded good.
Oh, man.
It was strange and special to hear him back again in the MCU as that character. And man, I'm just going to say it right out of the gate. This thing, first of all, this image comes at us from Sports Kita here. Really nice shot here, Chadwick T'Challa as Star-Lord. And I want to go around the room and see what happened. I want to talk about the story. This one, I'm going to say off the bat, I had so much more fun than the first one. This is a wild ride. I can't wait to talk about the story a little bit. Andy, I'll look at you. How'd you feel about this one compared to the first one?
Loved it. Probably twice as good, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I would. Yeah, we should maybe do week-by-week ratings on these? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because they're independent stories. All right, and what would you rate What If Peggy Carter became the first Avenger? Let's do it real quick. Round table.
2.3.
Ditto. That's around a 2.3.
2.2.
Yeah.
All right, what would we give this one?
3.2.
What about you?
Probably 3.0.
3.1.
Good. Cut it.
All right, let's wrap up the show. That's it. All right. Well, all right. So you enjoyed it. PC Mike, how'd you feel about this?
I
one?
enjoyed it.
Obviously, I like getting your rating out of the way.
I still felt like it was a little choppy.
A little bit.
Little choppy here and there, and some things like, I don't know, just kind of like thrown in. It was too quick for this one.
Yeah.
We know we talked about Peggy Carter being quick, but this one I thought there could have been so many more layers to this one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, overall, I like seeing the characters. I like seeing Thanos in a different light.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just talk about the
Yeah.
story of this one.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
all right, what if? All right, so this is a big, like, what if? Because, like, all right, in Guardians of the Galaxy, what happens is it's Chris Pratt. What's his name? I just blanked.
Star-Lord.
Yeah, but what's his name in this? It's
Peter Quill.
Peter Quill.
Peter
Duh.
That's your.
It's my guy. It's my guy. I got his jacket around here. He's taken from Earth. If you spoiler alert for all the MCU, he's taken from Earth because Yondu, played by Michael Rooker, picks him up because he's hired by Ego, a celestial god played by Kurt Russell. It's his half-god son, Peter Quill. And that was the whole reason he got picked up.
Did he pick up the wrong one? I guess I
this-
kind of missed that.
This
part.
is why this is the biggest issue I have about What If, is about like how things change and like so drastically. I mean, they picked up Peter Quill in Missouri in 1984, and in this, because of what the difference is, Yondu sent someone else to go get this kid for him in this reality, whereas in what they said, the Watcher. So just to reset the premise again, the Watcher is telling you stories of different realities. The reason that this timeline was different was because Yondu, a blue-faced guy played by Michael Rooker, which that was him in the show.
He was good.
He was great. He delegated picking up this kid to two of his goons. Sean Gunn
Taserface.
and Taserface comes back from Guardians 2. Same voices.
Kraglin is the other guy's, Sean Gunn's name, right?
I
think it is.
Kraglin sounds right.
Kraglin, yeah.
Both of those guys were there.
But you said 84 for Peter Quill, right?
And it was 84 again,
but I thought it said 88 on
well,
the screen.
whatever
Is something different on
whatever it
88?
was, I think the year was the same.
Okay.
And so what happened is a young T'Challa in Wakanda is with his dad, and his dad's telling him how, like, you don't need to see the rest of the world because Wakanda is shut off from the rest of the world. And a young T'Challa is like, but I want to go out there, Dad. And he runs out of the castle. It's like late at night. He's out in a field. He leaves the perimeter, the protection of Wakanda. You got to get him out of there if you're going to be picked up because it's a giant fortress over the city. They pick him up. And that's it. And they tell him that Wakanda was destroyed. That was my other big thing. I was like, T'Challa would go back. He would not be just staying gone. And what happens? He grows up. He becomes T'Challa, Star-Lord, and we get the opening scene from Guardians of the Galaxy where Peter Quill, I feel like you have to do this. You have to like play a little comparison game to start. He, in the movie, is stealing the Power Stone, and Ronan's goons, the main bald black guy that comes in with the gun, I forget his name, but it was definitely the same voice.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, who? That's what he says in the first one. In this one, he goes, oh, you're Star-Lord. They know who he is because T'Challa as Star-Lord is a famous warrior, basically like superhero in space. His whole thing is stealing from the rich, giving to the poor. And he is famous. They know him. And I'm already kind of losing the story a little bit. After that, you find out that him and Yondu, they're very close. They're Ravengers. Instead of like being bad guys, they're going around helping people. And we find out very quickly at a bar that they go to after they celebrate like getting this orb, oh, Thanos?
Just saying, yeah.
Thanos. Oh, this is how good of a Star-Lord T'Challa is. He just convinced him that he was doing it wrong. And Thanos, I mean, this is a funny recurring joke throughout the episode. You hear him explaining it to people and kind of like trying to make it sound like it wasn't so bad. They're like, yeah, but that's basically genocide,
He's
right?
like, no, because it's random. And
Yeah,
just,
it's not that bad.
It's random.
Genocide's not that bad.
No, because it's random.
he's like,
And-
just like that.
And that's Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
He's in there. I saw Josh Brolin in the opening credits, and I go,
You gasp
oh, yeah.
audibly.
I was me and Carrie watched this at 7 a.m. and I saw
Hey,
that.
get up,
I was like, Thanos is in this. I was like, this is gonna be crazy, but not the Thanos I was expecting.
No.
Kind of
Drax,
No
Drax.
snapping.
That was
bartender, not Dave Bautista.
not Dave
And
Bautista.
he is not happy about it.
Wasn't even asked.
Nope.
Well, supposedly, I was watching a YouTube video from Emergency Awesome today, where they do breakdowns of each episode of all the Marvel shows.
Uh huh.
Probably best ones I've ever heard beside our own. But
Nice.
anyways, he said something about that it was his agent's fault and there was miscommunication. I didn't literally look up any further info on that.
I don't know how you screw that up.
Yeah,
because this guy that played Drax wasn't bad, but I mean, you needed Dave Bautista in there.
Yeah, it's like a 1 minute. He could have done that on like called in and said the line and then be done.
You can do it. It's so easily. You also have Nebula in here with long blonde hair.
Looks like a rocket.
That was Karen Gillan, I'm gonna guess, because it sounded just like her.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I'm trying to think what happened. Like, there's some funny stuff that happens at that bar about them. Like, they're kind of recapping all of T'Challa Star-Lord's big adventures. And, like, essentially what's happened here is he's a much, much better version of this Star-Lord than Peter Quill.
He's a better criminal.
He's, like, not a criminal,
Yeah.
I think is what happened. He's, like, this...
Like Robin Hood.
He's basically Robin Hood criminal. Yeah, steal from the rich, give to the poor. And the big story here is, okay... They want to steal. This is where it got kind of like a weird mission. This is a weird mission.
Using the Power Stone to save people, basically?
Yeah, they're going to take the Power Stone to the Collector, who is played by Benicio del Toro, which that was him. His name was in the credits. And in the other movies, Guardians of the Galaxy, he's kind of like he's just a nobody. He's just a collector. He's on Nowhere, that celestial being's head. He's just a guy that collects stuff. In this, he's the new Thanos,
he's the big bad guy.
And he's buff and he's like giant. He's got
everything.
He's got all of it. And the plan is take the orb there, fake a trade, and then steal this root that can essentially make a dying planet into a thriving planet. Right?
Yeah.
And while they're there, a lot happens. One, we see Howard the Duck again.
It was the planet. Cool. It was a planet of the pink people.
The pink people.
So it's the girl that was at the Collector with the Collector,
his
and then
assistant.
also in
that was her. That was her voice.
Yeah, in Guardians, when Peter Quill goes back to a ship after stealing it, and there's the pink girl in there.
Mm-hmm.
That she just like pops up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot you were in there."
Yeah.
That he was clearly just, getting it on with.
Oh yeah. From in the first like 10 minutes of Guardians of the Galaxy when she's in the ship.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah,
I can't remember what their planet is.
Well, the pink girl in Nowhere, she's like Benicio. She's the Collector's like assistant. They brought her back, and then they end up getting caught pretty quickly. This like right away. Like I'm already having so much fun. Like this is exactly what I said. Why this one would be better than the first episode is because it's in space, and man, so many actors came back for this episode.
They did.
They had a lot of people come in from Guardians 1 and 2.
I wonder if they kind of came back because Chadwick Boseman passed.
Right.
Kind of like
maybe.
Like,
could
hey,
be.
We need to do this.
Yeah.
And don't we know that he's in like 3 more episodes?
I think so.
Which is awesome.
At the same time, I was like, this character is just, you can tell like he's such a good person and like that's such a good representation of like Chadwick Boseman in real life on screen. So, this is kind of a great like ending for him because I as far as I know, this is his last thing that's going to be released.
Yeah.
And it's what everyone knows him for. So
yeah, being that character, it's like he's still Black Panther, but he's wearing a Star-Lord helmet,
Yeah.
He still has his garb, kind of.
He does, and he has the necklace on still. And while he's at the Collector's place, he finds an old ship because what his family had done was they had sent out like recon vehicles into space. They were like, you know what, we'll look everywhere because it's Wakanda. They can do this. Finds a ship. His necklace activates it. Nebula had a big fake plan. Thanos ends up being like a really good guy fighting off his old minions, all of which came back. It sounded like the voice actors from Infinity War.
I think you're right.
Like the main chick with the spear. You had the guy with the magic powers that like fought against Doctor Strange and Infinity War and against Spider-Man. And like these guys are now working for the Collector. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I got a couple of those Marvel chills a couple times. Like Thanos really fighting for Nebula. It was cool to see a version that like
was nice.
Wasn't just like a bad dad.
Yeah. Still wants genocide, but it's random.
It's random.
Do you call
It's
them
not
like
like he's picking on people? Just random.
No, it's random.
The children of the Collector? I guess now I don't know.
The children of the Collector. I like that.
They were the children of Thanos, but
I
hated them all even more in like art than on screen.
Oh,
I
as
don't
a
know what-
cartoon?
Yeah, yes, cartoon.
In art.
Drawn. I hated the drawn versions of them much more than the real life versions, for real.
Let's talk about what the collector had. He had so many fun things. He had a Captain America shield,
Hela's helmet.
Hela's helmet, firing those. He's like the god of death, goddess of death. He had all sorts of like tech on him.
Yeah.
And they ended up beating him pretty quickly. And
I had to. It's only a 30-minute show.
yeah, they did. But like it ends with a big ending of them going. I have the winners, T'Challa, Thanos, Taserface, Nebula. They all go back to Wakanda and are welcomed home. And
he even's like, "Well, why'd you take my boy?"
Yeah.
At the end. He's like,
I was lost, and he found me.
And he found me.
I was like, that's
pretty
wow.
cool.
He's still a good dad. And then it ends with a look at Peter Quill at that Dairy Queen from the first movie. And who's there? Kurt Russell. That was him. I don't think that was Chris Pratt. I don't think he said anything.
No,
he was just like,
huh?
Yeah.
And Kurt Russell's like, "Hey, son," and somebody's like, and this might lead to the end of the world.
Yeah.
See ya, Earth.
Pretty good. I had a good time.
I loved
it.
it.
It was quick. It was in and out. I feel he is a little choppy. I also feel like the mouths talking
Yeah.
are not lined up so great.
Wouldn't it be wild if What If just like ended the timeline that we know, and like What If is what ended and then the multiverse.
Well, I was thinking like,
What if?
What's going to happen with the show? I don't think anybody knows.
Yeah. What if these are actually all like connected and there's going to be a story that it all leads to? That would be great.
Shows have done this before. Shows that do kind of one-off stories, and then they all end up playing a big role, right? Like it all is kind of leading towards something. I mean, the first episode ended with Peggy Carter hooking up with Nick Fury, like in her future. So it's like that's a setup immediately. And it's like, okay, maybe these are coming together. Either way, can't wait to see more of this character in more episodes. This one definitely gave me higher hopes.
It was better. It was way better. Yeah.
And I'm excited for episode 3.
And they're quick and easy. I mean,
yeah,
they're fun watches. This one was a fun watch.
Anything else that we're forgetting from this one? I think that was pretty much it. It was pretty fun.
We talked about Howard the Duck.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did.
He was drinking a lot.
You know who we didn't see in here who I would hope is we didn't see Gamora.
Nope.
Like we saw the rest? Well, we didn't see Rocket or Groot, but like you wouldn't because they were always off on their own.
Yeah.
But Gamora, you would think that she'd be in there.
Probably see him in other episodes. That's what makes me think. Are they saving people for other episodes? And like if you see people in 2 different episodes doing 2 different things, then
we had this.
You'd think it's different like universes or multiverses or whatever. But like if this is all the same within the same one, we could potentially see interaction between the episodes. Who knows? Or they could connect. I have no clue. But just guessing. Maybe they have some tricks up their sleeves.
They might, and I can't wait to see what they do. Well, we'll watch it next week on Wednesday. Every Wednesday, these are coming out. 9 of them. That's 2 of them down. What If? Animated series on Disney Plus. If we didn't say that, go check it out, and we'll be talking about the next one and the rest. You can find this in our MCU library at mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU. Listed there in our preferred watch order with connections, ratings, isolated clips where you can go in and you can watch our review of Iron Man. You can watch our review of the Infinity War, Endgame. All of them are in there, and we're talking about everything that's coming out this week, next week, and for the next, how many more years, Andy? Are they going to keep making MCU stuff?
Ever?
Forever.
Yeah, hopefully.
They got like 20 more to go, and we're going to be talking about all of it. Go check it out at mostlysuperheroes.com. Before we get to the meat, switching universes, going over to DC, talking about Titans. It premiered season 3 on HBO Max. But first, we're going to take a quick break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hey, podcast listeners. This is Chris Holsey. I'm the host of the new true crime podcast, Small Town Forgotten. In the first season, I focus on a very personal cold case. 31 years ago, my family member Jimmy Wade Martin was murdered in front of multiple witnesses in Bonne Terre, Missouri. A murder weapon was found and a man confessed, and yet there have been no convictions and no justice for Jimmy Wade's twin daughters. You can listen to Small Town Forgotten directly from our website, smalltownforgotten.com, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.
The meat.
Welcome back from the break. This is Mostly Superheroes. Here with PC Mike, the Giggler. It is time for the meat, the chunk, the sizzle. That's why you came. It's why you're here. That's why I'm here. Very excited to talk about this DC title that just premiered on HBO Max. Let's set this thing up just a little bit. There were seasons 1 and 2. It premiered on a network called DC Universe. HBO Max picked it up, brought it over. We're talking about Titans season 3. It just premiered. Got this image up on our screen from Bleeding Cool. We appreciate it. Titans season 3 just premiered on August 12th, and it is back. 3 episodes, 1, 2, 3, just like that. I don't know if they're going to do this every week. New episodes on Thursday, but I can't wait to talk about these first 3. I mean, my gosh, what a show. First 2 seasons, I think we can all agree, kind of hard to get through, a little lukewarm. Like, can I just say this? Can we all look at each other? Is this show back? Is it good? Is it getting you pumped? Is it getting you jazzed? We got a Batman. We're in Gotham City. Spoiler alert for the episode right now. We're going to bust it wide open and talk about how we feel. Let's talk about the story, how it's going. I just watched these, the last one yesterday, 2 days before that. PC Mike, when did you watch these and how'd it go for you?
I think I just stumbled. I didn't even know it was coming out this quick. And I think I just stumbled onto it last week. And I was like, whoa, hey, Titans is up.
It's time.
And I watched season 1 and 2, like you said, and lukewarm. Like, I didn't love it. I thought the character development was just kind of super slow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care about some of the characters, and like the season 1 story I didn't care about really at all, and it took a long time for different things. Season 3 turned that on its head and pushed the gas, and the first 3 episodes in are the best 3 episodes they've had in this whole series. By far. I don't think it's close.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. I'm with you. It's moving. It's looking good. I think the episodes might be a little shorter, I'm thinking.
Like 45 minutes, I think we said? Something like that?
Something like that, 40 minutes or so after, you got credits in there. Andy, another big DC guy. Probably, we love Batman on this show. We talk about it all the time. And, man, you talk about one of the biggest characters that we know you're terrified of per your nickname. Opens right up with an episode 1. How did this go? We already know how the first 2 seasons went. We've talked about them a lot. How did the first 3 episodes of season 3 go for you?
Man, I loved them. I feel like it's what in my head, I felt like the first 2 seasons were just building towards something. And I'm hoping that this is it and it's going to just keep up this pace. Like, if this pace keeps up for the whole season, and I'm sure there's going to be some filler episodes here and there, but like, I expected episode 3 to be one because it was, what was the title? Like Hank and Dove. And
Hank and Dove.
Like, I didn't expect that to advance the plot, but it did. We'll get there. But wow, I really can't wait for the show to come out on tomorrow.
Tomorrow for us.
Listen to this, it'll already be out. So I hope that they can keep up that pace that they have for these past 3, because this is some of the plot lines and things that I think a lot of the big DC fans have been waiting for. Yeah,
the stuff that you want to see, the characters that they're bringing in, and let's just talk about season 2, kind of how it wrapped up so we can set up season 3 in these first 3. So the first 2 seasons, if you don't know, Titans, man, this is about Teen Titans. You ever watch the cartoon Teen Titans when you were a kid? I did. I loved it. This is the adult version. Even on DC Universe, it was, I don't know if it was R, but it was, gory, cussing, a lot of F-bombs, a lot of blood. And the characters you're dealing with, you're going to know these names. You got Robin, you got who ends up being Nightwing by the end of season 2 after their big battle with Deathstroke. We already put that spoiler alert out there. You got Hank and Dove. Hawk and Dove.
Hawk and Dove, yeah.
And it's Hank and I don't even know her name in the show. I always
Dawn.
Dawn. I said it wrong earlier. So
you got Beast Boy coming back. He basically turns into a tiger, but the Beast Boy I remember could turn into anything. Gar. He can turn into, the Beast Boy I knew could turn into like any animal.
He turned into like a snake once, didn't he?
He says that in the episode 1 or 2 where he's like, what's going to be the encore to Snake? So he's thinking about trying something else. Raven, she's the dark witch character. She's got mystical powers. She's very heavily involved in the first season, pretty much in second season. Not in any of the first 3 episodes, but we know that she's going to be here. She's out doing some stuff. They keep talking about her.
Yep.
What is she out doing? Well, what's her name? Donna in this show. She is basically Wonder Woman Junior. I don't know what you call it Junior when it's a girl. Do they have that? Do females have the Junior like we have?
I think it's not just Junior still,
and
right?
Wonder Woman's not her mom, I don't think. It's more
the
like
second.
It's like her aunt or something.
Yeah.
But
no clue.
she has the lasso of truth in the first couple seasons, and here's the big thing that happens to her. She dies. She gets electrocuted, which I'm like, of all the ways to kill an Amazonian, I just don't think that would do it, if I'm being honest. She held up against, who's in this? Connor Kent, Superboy. So cheesy in the first time you see him. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He even just wears that black T-shirt with the red S on it. And then Starfire, the amnesia-ridden alien that we meet.
Dude, you were crushing the descriptions.
These are off the top of my head, too. I just remembered. I'm just going back through the first 2 seasons. I love her character. She's royalty from another alien planet. Doesn't really remember much. Then she finds out throughout season 2 that, hey, you were supposed to like go there and conquer, basically? Something like that. And they're like, her sister calls her at season 2 and is like, if you don't do what we say, we're going to come to you. And I think we're starting to see some of that sink in season 3. Who are we forgetting? Oh, new characters. First of all, we do have a Robin that is Jason Todd. So you get 2 Robins in this show before season 3. You get Jason Todd and Dick Grayson.
Yep.
And then in this season 3 premiered a brand new character. If you're a DC fan, if you're a Batman fan, Barbara Gordon.
It's the name of the first episode.
Is the name of the first episode. And they're going full comic book on this thing. She's in the wheelchair.
Exactly. Yep.
Like she's had an accident from what? Fighting.
The Joker shot her in one. I don't know if that's what happened in this.
Yeah, did they say that yet?
I don't think
I was
so.
wondering how that was going to be.
She did. She said how she ended up in the chair.
That was
though.
the killing joke.
Yeah.
That's the
common.
killing joke. And then this is this episode 1 really should have been titled A Death in the Family, even though
Damn.
it really wasn't. We find out. So let's just open it up. Season 1 kicks off. This is awesome. The first 2 seasons took place in like Detroit and then Sacramento.
San Francisco?
San Francisco.
Yeah.
One
Close
of them.
enough.
One of the California. This one, they bring you back to Gotham. We're in Gotham City. Bruce Wayne, Batman. He's been Batman for a long time, and he's out on a plane, and he gets a call from Jason Todd that says, hey, man, I found the Joker. The Joker's never been in this show before. And he's like, I locked him down. I see him on the screen. He's at this carnival.
Amusement park, yeah, carnival.
And he decides to go out there on his own. Before he does, he takes a little huff of some chemicals he's been making. This is Jason Todd we're talking about. And what happens? He gets there. Joker gets the slip on him, beats him to death with a crowbar. That might be straight out of the comics.
I think it is.
Death in the Family, right?
I think so. I've never read a lot of DC comics, like maybe that Batman one that I brought on one day, but maybe I'll get in that DC comic plan.
Yeah. Oh, the Marvel Unlimited.
Do they have that? I don't know.
I think they do.
Of course
I
they
looked it
do.
up that one day.
Of course they do. And I'm going to kind of move through these quickly. You guys, I just want you to interrupt me because I'm kind of going to, there's 3 episodes, so I don't want to go frame by frame. But the big picture is this death of Jason Todd brings the Titans to Gotham. Dick comes to see Bruce. He's like, hey, man, are you okay? The rest of the Titans come to help because what happens at the end of the first episode? Bruce Wayne finally breaks down after losing a Robin. And he goes to Arkham Asylum, and he kills the Joker. Did you guys see that coming?
So much happened in the first 3 episodes that I forgot that even happened.
That was episode 1.
Yeah.
That was the cliffhanger on episode 1.
He comes into the room where Dick Grayson's laying and drops the crowbar.
And he says, be a better Batman than me.
Yeah.
Khaleesi.
And he's gone for the rest of the episodes that we get.
And he's out.
Yep.
That's episode 1. And the episode 2 is, all right, we're the Titans. He brings them into Gotham, and they're going to help fight crime now because there's no Batman to help do it. Right? Not only that, Dick Grayson started to investigate Jason Todd's death. He's trying to look further into this. And we also learn that Hank is a security cop on a bicycle.
Yes. Yeah, the sweet mustache, too, at this time.
Sweet mustache, cop mustache. We also learn in this one that Raven, we mentioned she's not in these episodes. She's off. If you remember from season 2, she said she was going to go basically try to bring back Donna to life, which I'm looking at this poster for Max, HBO Max. I mean, Donna's in it. So we can only assume she's going to be in these future episodes too.
And we were right on Death in a Family. Joker does beat Jason Todd with a crowbar, but he leaves him to die and explodes a warehouse. That's how he actually dies.
That's how he
so
dies.
maybe
I've seen that.
since he didn't explode
cartoon.
the warehouse.
Well, and we find out in the episode 2, the Titans come head to head with a villain with a red like skull looking thing. They don't know who it is they're fighting against him. Dick Grayson has a big fight scene as Nightwing. He's Nightwing now. He's not Robin anymore. That was the big ending of season 2. And he crashes the face mask open, and who's behind it? Jason Todd. And he says, I'm not Jason Todd anymore. I'm Red Hood. And if you don't know who Red Hood is, I mean, from my knowledge of it, from watching Gotham on Fox, Red Hood gang was the gang that got Joker his start. It's where Joker started his career as the Red Hood. Now, Jason Todd is this Red Hood villain fighting directly against the Titans, and that's the big cliffhanger at episode 2.
Boom.
I'm really moving through it. Anything else I'm missing so far?
I think it's good hitting the big points, and then we can kind of talk about how we feel.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
There's 2 good cameos that we didn't really talk about yet in those first 2.
Hit it.
Tim Drake in the first episode.
Tim Drake.
He'll be presumably the new Robin.
Oh, he's the guy that's out there delivering
younger-
food. The cops give him a hard time. He gives them free
Yeah, I
food.
forgot what it was.
It was like donuts or galoshes or
I don't remember.
some kind of city thing.
Yeah, that exactly what Mike said. That's a
I was like, so who's this guy? And I
Who's-
assumed he was going to be one of the new Titans.
future team member for sure.
But
Gotta
Tim
be.
Drake, that's a Robin character.
Yeah.
That's like the third entity of Robin.
So he'll be coming in.
And then Jonathan Crane, who
Nope.
Oh,
helps them.
Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Played by, what's his name from Mad Men? He was Peter in Mad Men.
Have you guys heard the stories about this guy though?
Please.
Supposedly he was like a super big piece of shit on set and like will not be coming back.
Oh, really?
And it
Oh.
came out in the news like the past few days.
That's a shame because his Scarecrow version I really liked. You know, they're going to getting help from him. He's pretty brilliant. He likes smoking weed.
He just wants to smoke weed all the
He's
time.
like, just bring me weed and I'll help you.
yeah, right.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, good on the cameos. Barbara Gordon, we learn a lot. You know, Dick says, "Hey, come help me with Bruce." There's like some reminiscing about them all working together. She calls him out about wanting to work with Robins. And I was wrong about the end of episode 1. That was the end of episode 2, I think. That was episode 1. Barbara Gordon goes in there, and that's when Bruce killed the Joker and left.
Yeah.
She's saying like you can't have any more Robins, and he's already looking up new kids to recruit. Yeah, you know what I was wondering? I bet the names on that computer, Dick Grayson, remember he finds the file with all those people and he calls out Bruce for recruiting new people already?
Yeah.
I was like, there are names next to it. And I was like, I bet if you read all those names, so there's some Easter eggs.
Oh, I didn't
Too-
think about that.
Too deep cut for me.
I might go. I might do that.
All right, episode 3, man. We find out Jason Todd is Red Hood. This episode at 3 is titled Hank and Dove. Hawk and Dove?
Hawk and Dove.
And it's all around these guys. But
Hank and Dove, you're right.
But the Titans, you know, coming off of finding out it's Jason, is, you know, we got to find him. Well, Jason beats him to it. He calls Hank directly on a private line. Hank says it from the get-go. We got to put him down. He's killing people. I mean, in episode 2, that's when they blew up the bank. He blew up the bank with all the hostages in it and the Titans in it. And Barbara's like, you cost me a lot here because she went on a limb for him. Getting some bad guy vibes from Barbara Gordon a little bit.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It'd be weird, but this show's got to wow us somehow. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. There's got to be some twists and turns.
Yeah.
And he lures Hank to a remote place, and I thought he was going to kill him right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
same.
He doesn't. Hank comes back to the Titans' fortress in the Batcave.
He does worse
Batcave
somehow.
looks sweet, by the way.
Batcave is perfect. It's like the Batcave you want, like room to work.
It's the Batcave I wanted as a kid to play with my action figures.
Yeah, your Batcave toys.
My Batcave toys.
He comes back with a bomb in his chest. And this bomb works pretty much like what you think. You can't move it, you can't touch it, and it counts down heartbeats.
Good bomb. It's a good bomb.
It's one of the best bombs ever made.
Yep.
And we find out, let's skip some steps here. It's a Wayne Enterprises tech.
Yikes.
This is obviously something at play with Red Hood taking
Shots at
Wayne and Batman. Yep. And let's talk about Connor Kent, man. One of my favorite characters. This guy is half Superman, half Lex Luthor. He was born in a test tube and basically can work at super speed. He understands technology, and he's trying to build the device that can fix this thing. All the meanwhile, Hank's just hanging out in a room trying to keep his heart rate down. Turns out Red Hood, Jason Todd, it's pretty simple. He wants the Titans to go rob this truck, this armored truck with 50 gold bars in it or whatever. And it's a money thing. And Dick Grayson says it to him. He's like, if this is about money, you would have just taken it from like Bruce Wayne and left. This is about something else. And, you got him saying we're not going to do that. Dove, the love of her life, about to die in this bed, says, I'll go.
But is it the love of her life?
Yeah, they were.
Well, they're on the outs.
Yeah.
But they reconcile
Yes.
in the bed.
Yes, they do. You're right. Now I remember
But I mean,
that.
people always come close when I think her real love
Dick?
is Dick Grayson.
Well, especially now that Hank's out of the way.
Yeah.
But man, Alan Richardson, I can never think of his name. He played Aquaman in Smallville. He's already gone. And like, it was sad. That was sad.
I didn't think that was going to happen.
Well, let's talk about exactly what happened. So she robs the truck. She finds Jason Todd, Red Hood. He says, there's the key you need right there. And he opens it up. It's a gun. And he goes, all you got to do is kill me. And the detonator stop. Nightwing gets there, and he says, don't do this. There's another way. It's a countdown. He's got like 50 heartbeats left, 40 heartbeats, 30. Connor Kent, he's almost there, 3%, 2%, 1%, almost done. Gets it with about 6 seconds left. Runs through Wayne Manor to get it up there and take this thing out of his chest. And about halfway through, she realizes she's out of time, and she says, I'll just kill him. And she pulls the trigger. That was the detonator.
Crazy spin.
Boom.
that just gave me chills. That was so good.
He blows up. He blows up Wayne Manor, first of all.
At least a wing.
At least one wing. You're right. Yeah, not the
Did
whole
you guys
thing,
even
probably.
remotely see that coming?
I did not.
I did not.
I mean, obviously, it was leading toward this. I mean, his heartbeat bomb is counting down the whole episode.
I thought it was.
So I'm like, he might die. I was like, he might die here.
I thought it was a ploy to get something else to get something else.
No, I don't mean seeing him die, but just like that she was going to pull the
No.
trigger. I was
No,
like, oh
that
my
was pretty
God, that
intense.
is
I knew there was
savage.
something else at play because I was like, he doesn't want to die here.
Yeah, and I thought it was like something else to do something else, like to get revenge other ways, but I did not think that he would give her the detonator and see if she's really good.
And now he's dead. Hawk is gone.
But I mean, that's kind of what he learned from Batman, being Robin all those years. You shouldn't kill. That's a lesson.
Yeah,
There's your lesson.
there's
You
your-
shouldn't kill.
What were you thinking?
Yeah.
And honestly, man, you would have thought that the moment you heard in your comms, Gar's like, Connor's got it. He's got it. Just like, hold up for one. Like, he only needed 3 more seconds. Really good, though, because obviously you can tell I really cared about it. Wild, crazy. That's the first 3 episodes. Roundtable, I've been talking around way too much.
You crushed
No,
it.
you crushed
I'm
it.
going to.
Like
Give you
me and Andy
props.
were following you.
Yeah, I saw you
All
guys on
the
your. I
things.
was hoping you would help me miss anything.
No,
Well, let's
I think
let's
the big parts you hit.
let's go to PC Mike. What else you got, man? Big parts, big thoughts, overall feelings of the first 3, and I mean, do we know how many more there are?
I think there's just one going to be released on Thursdays.
Okay.
I think it's back to 1.
Okay.
I would assume that
Boo,
too,
boo.
probably.
Yeah, boo. I like the 3.
But man, I think we made this call back when we knew that this was coming back out, probably in spring, and we said, hey, we didn't love seasons 1 and 2, but when HBO gets a hold of this, now they have the HBO machine behind them, maybe we're looking for some better things. And clearly, HBO taking this and doing whatever they did, it's a lot better. It's a world better.
It is, and I feel like it is good. I did watch it with Carrie. She was, like I told you guys, she was kind of struggling with it,
Mhm.
being like never even seeing the first 2 seasons. Maybe if you had, but like, who's gonna, what non-DC fan is gonna go back and watch those? None. And so I thought maybe the season 3 might be a show that could pick up for non-superhero, non-DC fans. I don't know if that's the case. I think
Maybe-
this is really a show for DC fans.
Maybe we can
I agree.
find something like a quick 10-minute YouTube thing. To
And
like catch up.
we did that too. HBO Max even has a pretty cool video. If you look it up on YouTube from HBO Max's channel, they have a 4-minute recap where the cast of the show is retelling the first 2 seasons.
That helps.
And-
I do that on Netflix all the time whenever I have no idea what happened in a prior season because it's been so long.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Andy, what else did we miss? Did you bring any show notes today?
No, not at all.
You just came in because this was like, I feel like you just had a good time with this one. This was one that you probably didn't need much
We're
for.
just both raw dogging over here.
Raw dog and tag team.
on the DC Titans. What'd you think, man? What else we got? Anything else that we're missing? Episode
Red,
4. Episode
Red
4.
Hood is. I think what's maybe been missing is just a big bad that like we can all like relate to. I feel like for this series, and like that's here now because it's someone that we knew. That I mean, Red Hood's a pretty iconic character in the DC world for sure. Like I really enjoyed the Under the Red Hood cartoon movie.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should watch that for sure.
Never saw it.
And maybe it might
I think it's on
potentially
HBO.
spoil things. With this,
It's
but
probably on the DC Hub on HBO.
it definitely is. That was a good one. What else?
Hey, here's something I want to ask. Someone talked to me about what's going on with Jason Todd. Like, what's going on with the chemicals he took? Does he have a split personality?
I read a little bit of a spoiler.
Oh, we don't want that.
It wasn't a spoiler. It was on Screen Rant.
Oh, it's like a theory?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
The
Theories are okay.
Scarecrow turned him into Red Hood. And I guess that vapor, maybe.
When I saw that, I
It's
thought
from-
that because I was like, that's it. When I originally thought that was like Scarecrow's like
Vapor.
lair or whatever. 'cause
Well, I thought it was maybe more Joker related, but like, well, I don't know what that like. But what he says in the episode, for the first episode, he says, "I'm not scared of anything anymore. Like, this is like a tough guy serum." And obviously, him getting
Yeah.
beat by that crowbar, like he didn't die.
I could also see, I mean.
And
the
did Bruce lie about burying him?
Yeah, see, that's weird. He did
that's
say.
what I don't get.
And
yeah.
Dick's
Dug
digging
him
him up, but like, did we see the end of that?
Yeah, nothing was there, I don't think.
Did we see him like look at an empty grave? I don't even remember.
I thought we at least saw his face.
Him digging is all
And
I
then
remember.
we saw after, like him looking in and being like,
It's not here.
Yeah.
Did Bruce lie?
what else was Bruce lied about? Did he even kill the Joker?
Yeah.
Do we even know the Joker's dead?
Because how weird to kill that character before we even really got to see him.
Did we even see his face? I can't remember.
No,
the
you just
Joker's
saw
face?
like the side
The back,
shadow
it was
of
like,
him.
yeah.
kinda
And the
like
guy hanging
cackling.
up was a dead cop
Mhm.
that had been smiled, like Joker smiled. Like he had gassed him and made his face that weird smile.
I don't think the Joker's gone. I don't think you can, quote unquote, kill him off 14 minutes into the his whole arc.
And never ever meeting him
Yeah.
before.
Maybe. I mean, there's got to be. They might not have licenses to show him a lot. I don't know. With what they're. I don't know. With the other universes that they're building, like, do they want to have too much? I feel like they don't like to have crossover of people playing different people like at the same time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I definitely know what you mean.
I don't know.
They did it on Gotham.
Yeah.
What did they do on Gotham?
Concurrently with
Joker.
Oh yeah, they had Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
That's
great.
true.
Kinda
But I mean, there wasn't really any other Jokers going around at that time, though. But
well,
I guess we
know.
don't know if there's any Jokers in the
Sure.
in
At this
the
point,
movies
the
now.
climate that we're in is they don't care. They'll make different versions of everything at the same time.
True.
I mean, look,
Multiverse.
the Batman. I mean, the Snyder Cut. All this was happening. Like, you know, it's all happening concurrently.
Earth 2.
Yeah, Earth 2. I do like what they're doing with the Titans, with like being news facing, and they're not like they're kind of out in the open, and they talk to the press. And
Got some boys, like the boys kind of vibe to it a little bit.
didn't one of you guys say that on when we talked about the show leading up, or maybe it was off air that
Oh, yeah.
like this is the I think Carrie said this, like this might be like the competition for the boys,
Yeah.
because that's on Amazon Prime.
Or the boys. Where's
And-
the hat?
And look, they are killing, and this is R rated.
Don't we have a For the Boys hat around here somewhere?
Oh, it's upstairs. I took it upstairs. I wore it on a trip recently. All right, man. Any other predictions? Anything else that you guys want to like think about?
I like what Mike said about the Jonathan Crane Scarecrow being maybe behind it, but who knows? The more villains and stuff like that they can bring in, even if it's just for little Easter eggs here and there, we'll dig it for sure.
I would love for them to just like, I know the Batman movies are notorious for trying to, because Batman has the best villains of any superhero,
Mm-hmm.
and they just try to squeeze so many of them in there. I really think it would be cool if this show like picked one villain,
Mm-hmm.
and that season is that villain.
Yeah,
Scarecrow, boom.
it's like
Move on.
it's
Here's
like,
Penguin.
it's like
boom.
Gotham,
But better. Like make it better.
a lot better, and not so cookie cutter.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gotham got really cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm like, where's this gonna go? This show could have gone like many different ways. 3 episodes in, I can't wait to see the rest.
That's why I wore the shirt today.
Is that their actual thing? The Gotham City Rogues,
That's from The Dark Knight.
Mike knows.
It's the football team.
the football team, where Bane makes his entrance to
Yep.
the city.
Or Dark Knight Rises, yeah. It was actually the Steelers too, so that's probably why Andy has it as well.
Yeah, somebody bought this for me, a very well-timed gift a long time ago, and I busted it out.
Same colors too. All right, man. Titans episodes 1 through 3, they're on HBO Max. Go check them out. We'll be talking about this each week. New episodes of Titans every Thursday. So if you're listening to this on Monday, Sunday on Patreon, it's just sitting there waiting for you. Go hit play. I think that it's going to be one at a time based on what we've read. It would be cool if they did 3. I liked how they did 3.
I think it's a new thing. Do 3 mini binges,
Why not?
like little mini movies. That was like a mini movie. 'Cause you can kind of bookend it. Like it had an ending.
Yeah, and you
Wasn't
don't
great.
and you don't feel so like, one with like a big, this is a epic show, right? There's epic things happening. You watch one, you really are like, man, I wish I had another one.
Well, sometimes I don't start shows because I'm like, man, I'm 4 seasons behind.
Mm-hmm.
This, if you're kind of taking this on, like, 3 releases one day, okay, I can do that at night. That's an after work thing.
Yeah, or at least
That's an hour and
you
a
know what I
half.
did? I watched 2,
Yeah.
and then the next night I watched the last one, which even was cool. It was like, okay, I got this one more to watch.
Yeah, 2 hours, like a movie.
All right, man. We'll keep talking about it. Titans on HBO Max. You can find this in our mostlysuperheroes.com/DCU. That's our DCU library. Wanted to feature some thoughts from people online to see what people think so far. I mean, this has 100% on the tomato meter.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but only an 89% audience score.
Only.
I know, right? For superhero TV shows, only 3. This is from earlier today. And then I did feature our group chat.
Nice.
And I had to feature some of the feedback from you guys because this is right after you watched it. So I thought it was cool to bring it in. I told you guys the meat this week. Remember last week we were like, we don't know what the meat is.
Yeah.
We were just wrong. We just forgot about Titans. And Andy said, great idea. Just watched the 3rd episode last night. Jesus. Mike says, almost said your last name, much better than the first 2 seasons. Agreed. And then Andy, big statement here. If they keep up this pace, it's going to be better than any MCU show so far.
I stand by it.
I think you're totally right. If they keep up this pace and it just keeps elevating up, we've seen 4 MCU shows so far. I mean, it could definitely take the lead.
Over Smallville, too.
And then I thought it'd be funny to include this last, I don't know. I thought it'd be funny to include this last text. I said, send me what you guys are watching. And you go, sent yesterday. I was like, oh, whoops.
Oops.
Getting some inside scoop there of the mostly men group
I love
chat.
how my photo.
It's you at the
It's
movie
me.
theaters. You got Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch
That's
Kids
your picture
holding
on-
it up like it's a prize or something. Thank you.
All right, that's Titans. We'll keep talking about it. Go to mostlysuperheroes.com/DCU. And with that, let's talk about what's coming up. All right, that was DC. They'll be talking about Titans each and every week, but talking about the MCU, we got some things happening. Went a little too far there. Here we go. Marvel Studios Phase 4. We're talking about What If every single week. We've talked about 2. We got 7 to go. Shang-Chi still set to come out September 3rd. Talked about this earlier. Early screenings happening maybe in your market. Just go check it out. Got that link to the article from comicbook.com in today's description. And then the Eternals is November 5th. So we still got a while to go, couple months, but it's on the radar. And we got plenty of stuff happening in MCU town. You can find all that at mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU. And again, Titans, of course, we're talking about it. And something new every single week on the show. We got new episodes on Monday, Sunday on Patreon. Getting really heavily involved in the Mostly Superhero Squad. And I was sharing with you guys earlier, we're on Season 2. Season 3 will be 2022. We'll kick that off in January. That's basically how we'll do our seasons. 1 season a year. And we just want you guys to know that we've starting to put a list together. We're going to be making some major upgrades to the show, to the studio, upgrading equipment, getting a little soundproofing, more decorations. We're going to be upgrading all of our merch. New styles, new looks, new pairs of clothing, and working on some pretty special projects for us 3.
Nice.
And for our very special fans. They'll be included in some stuff, too.
I'm glad that you didn't say upgrading co-host.
Yeah,
That's impossible.
I've been interviewing a couple replacements. It's really exciting. No, it's gonna be awesome. We're just, we're early in the year. We're only here in August, but we have big plans. We've decided that this show's not going anywhere. We're having too much fun, and we hope you guys are enjoying it. We appreciate the fans, the support. People keep on coming, keep on listening, checking us out online. And Mike, I wanted to ask you before we left, staying on the DC track, you had mentioned a video game that you had just played and beat. If you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm a nerd. I bought the Arkham pack probably how many months ago?
That was a long time ago.
Like 8 months
Might have been
ago.
a year ago.
Yeah.
Xbox, right?
Yeah.
It was
on
a
Xbox.
What was that bundle? You got like a 3-game
I bought
bundle.
3 games. I bought Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And I beat Arkham City last week. And now I'm playing Arkham Knight. And let me tell you, Arkham Knight is a game and a half. Once you start off with Arkham Asylum from 2008 and you get all the way up to Arkham Knight, you're like, wow, video games in 8 years changed a lot.
Oh,
but
man.
It's great stories. It's a great story. Like,
and they all connect?
Yeah, a little bit.
See,
but you can play them standalone.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's exciting for me. That's the biggest appeal to me as like I don't have a console.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about sitting down and playing video games for a Batman story that just kind of keeps on going is super intriguing. Those games look amazing.
Yeah.
And
this one you finally get to drive the Batmobile.
Oh, man.
So it's Batmobile.
Ooh, I forgot about that one.
It's Batmobile heavy, though. Like, that's probably one of the knocks. It's just, it's too Batmobile heavy. There's so many side missions and things. Like, people will post, like, finally got 100% like 4.5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of those people. Like, I'll play the main story through and maybe a side mission or two, but it's just something for some downtime. And it's Batman, so I can nerd out a little bit.
And you, I mean, obviously you recommend people going back and playing these if they were thinking about it. Does this also have you looking on the horizon for the newer games that are coming out?
Yeah, I mean, that one big one's coming out. What is it?
Gotham Knights next year.
Gotham Knights.
Not an exact date set, but it was supposed to be this year and was delayed. So, and there's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game that is supposed to come out next year as well.
Yeah.
Is that like a campaign or is it like Mortal Kombat?
That was that trailer we got, right?
Campaign, I believe.
Wasn't that the trailer we got where they're like in the city and then like Superman shows up? The Suicide Squad game, right?
Yes.
Way back when.
Yes. Thank you for that. Good call.
I don't know. I like campaigns better than like just Injustice and Injustice 2, like just facing off.
Same. And
unless it's a shooter, like I'll play shooters.
Normally, video games are not replayable for me for like campaigns like that. Like it's just usually one and done. But the Batman one, I could do that every few years. And I have. I've probably played through each one.
Like I forgot
twice.
I forgot a lot because on Arkham Knight I just played it to get through it because I like.
Maybe I'll just come over one day. I mean, you guys both have these, right? So I can just play them at your guys' houses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I could like try it out.
Yeah.
Carrie's listening. She's like, oh boy, going. We're a house without a console. I don't know if we need. I don't know. Again, I don't know when I even find the time. But you guys get me intrigued every time you talk about it.
It's fun. It really is.
All right, let's sign this thing off. Wrap another week. Andy, you got anything you want to say to the squad?
No, I just want to say that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is an upcoming open world action adventure shooter game. Just to answer Mike's question.
Where'd you get that from?
That was Wikipedia.
Thanks, Wikipedia. So I guess
It's
thanks,
legit.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Developed by Rocksteady Studios. So that's, they won't lead us astray.
And how about a PC Mike sign off?
DC, keep pumping out stuff that's good. Because, I mean,
right?
we're 2 for 2 in these last couple things you've pumped out.
Oh, my
And it has been a long time.
We got to give some props. We got the Suicide Squad. Now we're talking about a Titan show that we actually like.
Are we living in a simulation of what if DC took over Marvel? Is that what's happening?
I started saying that last week, and I started to feel blasphemous right away. You cut me off. Now you're already thinking that maybe.
Hey, if you put Suicide Squad score at a 91 and then the 100, the last two things is like an average 95.5, 96.
All right, let's do this. If you look at the last 6 months and you have the Snyder Cut, the Suicide Squad, and now Titans, and then on the MCU side you got Loki, WandaVision, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and now What If? I mean, I feel like DC's really taking it there when you just compare the last 6 months. Just the last 6 months.
Don't forget Black Widow.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even say it. That's not good.
Yeah, I know. I was. It's in your tucked back in your release order. That came out 5 years ago in your head.
In my mind, it's very old.
I think because DC was so bad for 7 years, they've actually pumped out some good stuff. We're kind of I don't know. It might be fooling us a little bit how good it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Just a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. It might be, but I don't know. I don't feel the same bias I felt like with WandaVision. Remember how much we were nerding out and looking up stuff. But I feel like I'm more level-headed nowadays.
Yeah. Falcon and Winter Soldier kind of killed that vibe for me. I guess the ending of WandaVision when we didn't get the big cameos and stuff like that kind of killed it. But.
Yeah, I need to go back and rewatch all those, I think, and with the new eyes we're looking at. But either way, great time to have a podcast called Mostly Superheroes.
Yeah. And the first half, what we're watching, we didn't even talk about superhero stuff because it's mostly.
Yeah, it was. And we were like, all right, movies coming in 8 months, and now we got multiple things coming out every week And we're going to keep doing it, man. Here in the basement, St. Louis, Missouri, having way too much fun, and really wouldn't be here without you listening, without you watching, and hitting that subscribe button and telling your friends and your family about us. We thank you. We appreciate you. And thanks for supporting your favorite independent podcasts out there. We'll see you next week. Take it easy.